What's up guys, Everything Apple Pro here, and the iPhone 7 has seen a lot of details, rumors, and leaks that have surfaced in just the last couple of weeks. I wanted to assemble them like usual into one video. So, just last night, the iPhone 7 prototype supposedly made its way out to the internet. Now, the legitimacy of this is uncertain. It isn't from a leak or anything, they just surfaced on Weibo, and it actually looks very legitimate to me. I mean, if we look real close, you can see that the antenna bands onto the iPhone are very subtle, very refined, very Apple-esque. The other ones we've seen in concepts, just didn't look as good. They were more pronounced. This is very, very subtle, just wraps around the edge of the phone. With these photos, there have been a couple things we've learned too, and a mysterious feature. There is one little thing about this that, we haven't seen anywhere else, and it actually makes me think that these could be the real deal in terms of images. So let's talk about some of the other smaller details. First off, we can't see the bottom of the phone. We cannot confirm if the smart connector is there, if there's a headphone jack or anything like that. I would have loved to see that, but on the top of the phone, near the camera, we can see that there is an extra port. What could this be? There was a lot of speculation around the internet, and what the heck is that port? What is it for? And as the actual poster points out, basically it's laser focus. That's just as simple as that. So the HTC, the new phone they released, a lot of major phones nowadays have this. Now this one is hidden behind a little piece of plastic right below the flash unit. And laser focus in general allows for faster focus, better quality in low light, especially when it comes to focusing, and all around it's the future of focus. Now, I could definitely see Apple adopting this in the iPhone, and with that little pinhole near the camera, that could be exactly what that is. Now, it's not confirmed, but, it makes sense. So, laser autofocus in the standard iPhone 7. The iPhone 7 will not be getting the dual lens camera, but Apple is still said to be making upgrades to it. The Samsung Galaxy S7 sensor might actually make its way into the iPhone 7. As ridiculous as that sounds, Sony produces some of these sensors for Samsung, and Apple and Sony have had a very, very long partnership when it comes to cameras. Now, a Reddit user actually took the photo and put an iPhone 6s to scale, and it looks like the camera is actually bigger as well as the True Tone flash. It could be because the phone is tilted a little bit, but we do know that the camera was supposed to be getting bigger. The only thing is, it's not flush, which the rumor said so as well. So, Apple's probably keeping the camera raised, and this is actually confirmed by some leaked schematics earlier, even more and higher quality than before. So there's an iPhone 7 Plus model and a regular iPhone 7. They both have raised cameras, so it's a little bit more subtle than just the border available on the iPhone 6s right now, but it still isn't as pleasant as if it was a completely flush surface. And if you notice, the iPhone 7 does not have a smart connector here. That's reserved for the iPhone 7 Plus. In a more recent rumor, Ming-Chi Kuo has basically said that the iPhone 7 Plus is the only one to receive the smart connector. The 7 will not be receiving it. The iPhone 7 Plus will also be exclusive with 3 GB of RAM because that Plus camera is going to need more power. It's going to be a huge, huge feat of engineering, and of course you're going to need more power for that larger camera. Now, Ming-Chi Kuo did also take back something he said earlier. Apple will not be launching 2 larger iPhone 7 models. So previously it was believed there would be a Plus and a Pro. Now he's saying that there will just be one. It's unknown if it will be the Pro or the Plus, but he's basically saying it's too much fragmentation. Apple's going to keep it simple with one larger Plus model. And that Plus model, again, will have 3 gigs of RAM, DSLR-like camera quality with that dual lens system. And he said that because of the size restraints of the shell, it'll only be able to do about 2 to 3 optical zoom. The zoom feature, which it will have, will be very limited because, there's just not enough room for all the elements of the lens inside the thin shell of the iPhone 7 Plus. And with that earlier leak I just showed you of the iPhone 7, there was a third photo, and that's with the packaging of the supposed iPhone 7. Now this one really, really seems to me like it could not be legitimate, but who knows? The packaging leaked for the iPhone SE actually a couple weeks before release, and it turned out to be the real deal, so who knows? Maybe Apple is really changing up the packaging, but what it basically showed us is that iPhone 7 64 gigabytes in rose gold. So 64 gigabytes basically confirms that it could be going from 32, 64, 128 on the standard iPhone 7. It's the iPhone 7 Plus or Pro that's going to be getting the 256 gigabytes. Now, production has begun in early stages for the iPhone 7. Pegatron and Foxconn, as detailed by Daily Economic News, have begun hiring in anticipation to produce the iPhone 7. Now, this isn't very surprising. It's the fact that it's a month earlier than usual. Now, this is because it was detailed to be a more complex build. This extra month is going to train the employees to assemble this new iPhone 7 or iPhone 7 Pro. Now, the outside we know is going to look too different. So there's not much of a difference when it comes to the outside of the phone. It's the internals. There's going to be a new fan-out technology for the chips, the A10 processor, 3 gigs of RAM on the iPhone 7 Pro. Now, all these new components are going to require new and more training. Now, it has been confirmed in the past that Intel will be producing the LTE modem chips for the iPhone 7. Now, there's a new confirmation of that, and basically saying that Intel won't be doing all of the manufacturing by themselves. They'll only be doing 50% of it. 50% of the work will go to TSMC and another chip manufacturer. So, to make things easier, because Intel just laid off a ton of employees. They have 1,000 people working actively on the iPhone 7 modem chip, but they're going to need help with producing it in mass quantities. So that's why they've hired these companies. And a smaller little detail, Apple has just hired 2 engineers that actually focus on wireless charging. Will we see it on the iPhone 7? No. I mean, there's almost no chance of that happening, but this is for the upcoming one in 2017. It's nothing new. Apple's been hiring for wireless charging engineer-related jobs for over 2 years already. So we know Apple's working on it. It's just unlikely to happen for this year. Anyways, guys, that's the latest in the iPhone 7 news. Just wanted to fill you in on all the latest details. It's very exciting. The new iPhone 7 might feature a much faster laser autofocus. I think it's great. I loved it on the HTC 10. It's very, very fast, very precise, and the iPhone 7 could certainly use that. And I like the fact that Apple will be making good changes to the base iPhone 7 instead of just focusing all out on the larger iPhone 7 Plus or 7 Pro. But thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Stay tuned for any and all news on the upcoming iPhone 7. Peace.